What is the importance of structures and services in architecture?
Um, it is just as important as if you want to become a doctor and you say I don't like the sight of blood, you don't become a doctor. Or if you don't understand what your spine does, you can't become an orthopedic. It's the same thing. You can't design a building unless you know how it's going to stand, or what is causing it, what is going to cause it to fail. If you don't understand the services, you will not be able to make the right provisions for the services. You have to understand. You have to understand enough of structure and services to be able to discuss the subject with your consultant. I don't advocate that all architects should know how to design a structure. Structure in itself is evolving. It's new techniques are coming, new technologies in construction coming, new methods of calculating the structures coming to force. I don't think it is necessary for architects to know that much detail, but they should understand enough to be able to discuss structures with a structural engineer. Otherwise, they will not know how the building stands and why a building fails. Same thing with services. We design a lot of hospitals. It's probably one of the most complicated building types in terms of services. Coordinating those services for a hospital is an immense amount of work. It's almost 50% of our work in designing a hospital goes in coordinating the services. The MEP engineers are different. You get an air conditioning consultant, you get an electrical consultant, you get a public health consultant, you get a firefighting consultant, you get medical gas piping consultant, you get security consultants, you get data management consultants. There are dozens and dozens. Plus then there are all the equipment suppliers. So if you don't understand services, you'll not be able to put the building together. The services in a hospital cost as much as the building costs. And you have to put the two together. You have to understand. It is absolutely a must. And this is something else I find that we get a lot of architects who are freshers. Whilst they understand reasonable amount of structures and they know there are what a column does and what a beam does, and they understand, they know how to put it into an architecture. I find 9 out of 10 architects who are graduate don't know the simplest part of services. Not even the simplest. They don't even know what the relationship is between underground tank and overhead tank. Even to that, they don't understand. I'm sure they have been taught in second year or third year. But do you know, we also, when we get freshers, we look at their final year thesis. And the thesis that they do, which is a design thesis by and large, is all to do with planning and visuals and aesthetics, and there is absolutely nothing in it on structures and services. Nothing. When I find out who their guides are, did the guides not ask them to make sure that they incorporate some structures and services? And they tell me, the guides tell them, concentrate on design and not on structure and services. I think part of the problem is that there is far too much involvement of internal faculty being guides. There's far too much involvement of the judging of or jury judging of internal guides. I think internal guides should not have more than 25% or 20% say in what they design, because I find that almost always when I see a thesis and that guy has got a first class and very high marks, there's nothing in it on services and structures or even sensible planning to some extent.
Understanding of
It's all to do with form nowadays, all to do with very good 3D work using the latest software, but not enough.
So can you guide the students on how to select or how to approach to select a design thesis?
That I can't. I don't think there are so many building types. Why do I have to keep on seeing theses, final year theses on 5-star hotels and 5-star hotels, or College of Architecture, College of Architecture? Why are they not encouraged to, your thesis has to be a research-based design. Why don't you encourage them to go into a lot more complicated design structures? Sports stadiums, hospitals, things like that. 5-star hotels and colleges of architecture, you can't keep on doing that year after year after year in your college. And what is so complicated about a college of architecture, design, college of architecture or design? Make them select subjects which will test them. You see, the subject, you as a faculty member approve the subject, don't you?
Yes.
You must make sure that that subject that is selected by the student is going to test his ability of what he has accumulated, rather his accumulation of his knowledge of the last 5 years. Is it going to test all the knowledge that you have imparted for the last 5 years? That's the kind of subject you should select. Something which is going to make him do a lot of hard work in research, not a lot of hard work in perspectives and views and software. You remember a few years ago, when I used to come for juries or final year, there used to be only plans. Nobody used to even draw elevations, leave alone perspectives. Today I see all perspectives. Nothing on structures, nothing on services. Structures, services, detailing is the nuts and bolts of architecture. I find students know how to design a staircase, but hardly anyone knows how to draw a handrail for a staircase. Or even they've forgotten even where to measure the height of the handrail. And then when you go into a building, you will see balcony railing is too low, staircase handrails are too low. You go around and you see.
I think observation is an important.
Technique is not just only the observation. It is the basic knowledge which they need to retain. See, you teach them in the second year and third year, and by fourth year they've forgotten what they learned in the second year. In the fifth year they've forgotten what they learned in the third year. Then they go into a design thesis, which has got nothing of the first, second and third year in the design thesis. They've lost. You have to teach them how to retain that knowledge and use what you learned in the last year in the next year design project. What you learned in this year and accumulate everything into the next year's project. Not fresh. If they're going to learn, if every year is detached from the previous year, they're obviously going to forget.